Every day we witness people walking in the street, talking, texting, listening to music, like this person here who walked off the sidewalk ramp, barely paying attention to his surroundings. Pedestrians account for 14% of all traffic fatalities in the United States. In the last decade, pedestrian deaths increased by 15%. So much so that municipalities have started painting look signs on crosswalks in cities like New York, San Francisco, and Delaware. What if the problem we are dealing with could be the solution we are looking for? What if the smartphone could detect when the pedestrian is in danger and warn him? Most fatalities occur when the pedestrian is crossing the street. Our focus is on detecting the events when a person is entering a roadway. We developed two technology-based approaches that aim at detecting crossing events. When a distracted pedestrian approaches the street, the application detects it and warns him to watch for oncoming traffic. This application runs in the background and does not affect the user's interaction with the phone. This steers the pedestrian's attention back to the real world. Smartphones are equipped with GPS that know where you are. Using your heading, they can also predict where you are going for the next few seconds. By comparing this location and heading to a road map, the smartphone can identify if the pedestrian is headed to a street. However, due to the limitations of GPS positioning, this approach works primarily in areas without tall buildings. Our second approach enhances the GPS approach and is directed at detecting road features that separate street and sidewalk. These are primarily curbs and ramps. The wearable sensors best positioned for such detection are on the feet. A large number of shoe-mounted sensors are gaining popularity for fitness purposes. We exploit the accelerometers available on these wearable units for ground profiling and crossing detection. When the person walks on plain ground, such as a sidewalk, the slope of the ground remains almost constant. In the graph here, the red dots are the measured inclination of the ground at each step. As the person walks on the sidewalk ramp, the measured inclination of the ground changes sharply at every step. This can be seen from the sharp dip on the right side of the graph. At this point, the pedestrian is warned to look up. When the person starts walking on the street, the measured slope starts to be constant again, and we know that the person is in the street. When a person is walking on plain ground, the force on his feet is evenly distributed. But when he steps down a curb, the accelerometer records a sharp peak indicating the step off. We tested our algorithm in New Brunswick and New York. The detection performance is higher than 90% with less than 7% false warnings. As our lives become more entwined with technology and the number of distracted pedestrians increases, this simple and effective approach will remind you to put your phone down when crossing a street and walk to safety.